sides. Jedi and Sith. Just for my own wondering, who is Team Jedi and who is Team Sith? So Jedi, raise your hand. It's not a debate. You got one Jedi,
from like
two
this, or from
Yes,
like
from just this, right here. All right, who likes the Sith? Oh,
Evil.
that's awesome.
You have red lightsaber.
All right, so first question, ideally, which code is the best to live by? It's philosophy class. Yes.
I mean, if you're gonna ask more questions, I mean, are we living in a perfect world already? Are we coming into a utopia?
Idealistic world, yes.
So we're living in a utopia, then a Jedi code is
The
better.
Jedi code, why?
Because it promotes a utopia, peace, knowledge, serenity, harmony with everybody else. So it would help maintain utopia rather than the Sith code is about being one over the other.
All right, Kyle.
Well, how idealistic is the Jedi Code is my question, because how well can you live without any emotion, and like there is no ignorance, is that a realistic question or a realistic statement?
So this is not just posing to me, but to the class, if you have an answer to that, feel free. Johnny, did you have a response to that? Any response?
I have a response to that. Kind of tying Kyle's and Patty's points together. Patty, I think, was referencing, our idea of like what a utopia is, and usually utopia just means everyone is the same, everything is equal, everything is good all of the time. And I think in order to have that kind of utopia, you really cannot have emotion, and you can't have feelings of a lot of passion or a lot of I want to move up, or I want to be better, or I'm sad, or I'm happy. You can't. You have to have that sort of flat line.
So passion and love aren't in a utopian universe? No.
Serenity does that, and they make the evil render, reverse.
Well, it's like you look at like the qualities between two, just the words like passion, strength, power, victory, force, like peace, knowledge, serenity, harmony. Like you look at that, and there's no reference on the Sith code to like knowledge, like just like intellectual strength or something like that. And I feel like that's a little bit more promoted in the Jedi side. But you look at like the Sith code, and it's like it falls more under the emotional side. And as us being teachers, I feel like I get that because we are emotional people. Like we want to like you can't really do this just that. Like, so I kind of get where we're falling, why so much raising.
Something I just noticed on the Sith code that was a lot different that I didn't love is that it's very self-centered. It's like through passion I gain strength, and it's always about yourself rising to the top. And if I just think about past knowledge of Star Wars, it's like you don't really care about if there's harmony or justice or anything in the rest of the utopia or whatever. It's just about you rising to the top.
So realistically, is one more realistic than the other for our world right now?
Just sticking to the Socratic part, why does the Jedi Code, why is the Sith Code demonizing emotion? What is it about the Sith Code? Because in the Star Wars idea, passion, strength, those two, forget power and victory and the Force, but passion and strength, why are those two words given to the evil side? And what part of the Star Wars, I don't want to say agenda, but what part of the Star Wars thinking of that they're going about and be this best resembles the evil side, it's emotion.
So you're asking why?
Yeah.
Does the Sith necessarily resemble the evil side?
I mean, they actually
What's the point of
damage people, and they shoot lightning out of their hands. Generally not positive.
I don't think it's how you look at it.
Pretty fun if you can shoot lightning out of your hands, personally.
It'd be pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. That's awesome.
Just starts a fire, they're camping.
Very practical. Very practical.
Mine was on the question of not necessarily the best way to live by it, but
Let's stay engaged to the conversation.
the way that we are now. I think we're more of a Sith code, at least now. I think that, we have a generation called the Generation Me. Generation now, we're all about ourselves. So I think that this, we're all, I know that as women, or at least myself, I'm a very emotional person. So if there no emotion, I'd be like, I don't want to be here. So I just think that we as a, not necessarily a community, but as like a world, we're just very passionate. The world is about me, I need to better myself. I don't care if it doesn't better you, but if it betters me, that's beneficial. And I might think of you second, but I'm gonna think of you first.
Megan?
Just realistically, I don't think that these totally go together. Like emotion, there's no emotion, there's peaceful. Like they're not totally tied together. But it's how it works in the real world. You know, like
gotta
ignorance and
start.
knowledge, sure. Passion, serenity, again, I don't think those things really go together. And I also think that that's just not how the world is. Like there is a lot of ignorance, it's a lack of knowledge. So maybe that's kind of what they're getting at. There is a lot of chaos, but maybe that's a lack of harmony. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think the Jedi one's very realistic. I kind of agree with Allie that this Sith one is a little bit more me-centric and probably more what we look at in power dynamics between countries and all of that.
Sarah's gonna hold me.
Well, you gotta remember also in the Star Wars universe, the Sith don't see themselves inherently as evil. They see themselves looking to exert control and bring order, and some whiners with blue lightsabers perceive that as evil, and wanting to control is bad. Whereas denying that we are not selfish, I mean, you can work against your natural selfishness. You can work against, your natural state of being an emotional creature, but you can't deny those things entirely. Humans are selfish and emotional. To deny those things and try to sequester them away is unrealistic at best and unhealthy at worst.
To deny your emotions, is that any less unhealthy?
That's what I'm saying, is that it is bad.
But I agree.
We're in.
Elena?
Well, I feel like in truth, I mean, in my mind, an anti-emotional society would be a peaceful society in my mind because of the fact that emotion, though can have a lot of positive effects on the human experience and human interaction, can also lead to things that cause people to act irrationally. So by removing emotion from the equation, you're no longer causing people to act out of anger, act out of jealousy, act out of, I get why that would make sense for a utopian society. I'm not saying that that's where we're at. We're definitely not. Like, the Sith code just makes more sense for where we're at right now, and I don't think it's weak to say you're giving into your emotions. It's just human, which I agree with on your point. But I also feel that I get where they're coming from, where peace is from lack of it. So.
David?
Most world religions have an initiate level of knowledge and the esoteric hidden knowledge for the elites. This is more the absolute master level. So to say there's no emotion isn't to deny that it exists, but it's to say that you're divorced from it. You're not a slave to your passions like the Sith are. They don't consume you and drive everything you do. So it's not, to take it at face value isn't accurate to what they're really saying. It's like when Yoda said, do it or not, there is no try. At face value, that makes no sense. But at the esoteric level, you know what he's saying, he's actually trying to get to, you exist and you do these things, you are them.
Well, I mean, so coming back to the question that's on the board, does denying your emotions make you weak? I think because emotions make you strong and give you strength, that denying them will make you weak on the other side of that. You look at what every fight and every war and every fight and every bar fight and everything that's come from every time that you've been shown strength, a country has shown strength, a person has shown strength, a mother's been able to sit next to her dying cancer kid and not cry. Those are emotions that are creating strength. And so that's where I think strength comes from, is from emotions. So without them, you are weakened.
Johnny, did you have a statement?
Well, kind of. I just don't think any of these are mutually exclusive. I think if we lack passion, we're going to lack the desire to grow in knowledge. We're going to be complacent and become ignorant. If we don't have strength and power, we're not going to achieve serenity. You have to overcome things with strength, become serene. Victory promotes harmony. When you beat out all the negative things, you have to beat out something to create harmony. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think they're just 2 points of the same coin.
You gotta pick one, Han Solo. You gotta pick one, Han Solo.
Johnny doesn't need no old-time religion.
No great Jedi here.
I'm like, yeah, dude, he's both. Get the break
So
together.
like I feel like in the movies we get a good example of the extreme like Sith, kind of like that egocentric. We get that transformation of Anakin who embraces the dark side and all that. And I'm wondering like, what is there an opposite extreme to the Jedi embraces it to an extreme that it becomes negative. You know, like is there someone, like I'm imagining, like is there someone who's so intelligent or like knowledgeable and so peaceful that they just completely are?
It would have to be Yoda, if there was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see the new movie, because there's no Jedi code anymore, but that's neither here nor there.
I think to a point, the Jedi were all too consumed with their code because they missed the Sith uprising entirely. They were so focused on like keeping peace and all that jazz, and they totally missed the huge underlying issue.
So they were pretty ignorant then.
So being all too consumed by their code.
Maybe that's the.
So with the Sith code, I was seeing it, like, I think these are all things that are very true of, like, our natural human tendencies. And so I think that's, like, the most representative of just, like, the baseline, like, how we act as humans. But I think that's, like, not really giving us anything to strive towards, just saying, like, oh, keep doing what you were meant to do. Whereas the Jedi code is kind of, like, giving a higher standard to work towards to, like, establish that harmony and peace. Because they, like, hope to have a more perfect world. So it's, like, going a step beyond what we already have is this one.
So from the beginning, did anyone switch places, like that was originally Team Jedi or originally Team Sith? Did anyone transform their thoughts? George?
Yeah, no, I'm leaving here for Sith. I came in as a Jedi. Because more realistic and more human. And like she said, more the Jedi seems more utopia for the Sith.
I think like, I probably, to kind of go off of what Clarissa said, like, this is where I'm at, like, that's where I'm at, like, that's who I am. But to aspire to being like the other as like a higher standard for like, I want to do on behalf of the greater good. Like I try to not focus on that personal, emotional
Yeah,
level.
to continue what Alina's saying, like it's easy to give into your baser emotions and want to go with the Sith and pursue your passions. It's hard to work towards an ideal, a better society. So although the Sith may be a more attractive option, being a force for good is better for the world.
All right, Sherry.
But how useful is striving for the ideal and having the ideal in place if you realize that the ideal is impossible to achieve?
That's a good point.
Clear.
Johnny?
What about the Sith think for the greater good?
Yeah.
They think they're doing good?
And they murder people, is that good?
So do the
So
Jedi's.
you like murdering people?
Gotta kill people too.
Anakin
Killed
killed
all
a
those
bunch of little
babies.
baby Jedis,
Killed them.
okay?
Yes.
Kill the child. The young ones.
They couldn't fight.
To make way for a new and better society in his own mind. It wasn't good in his own mind.
Or wrong.
Only a Sith feels an absolute, so.
Yeah, kind of going off of what Johnny was saying, like as far as like your perception, like in reading this, seems like Jedi's are in control and then the Sith uprising or whatever. This, just the way this reads, and like how are you going to get in a position of power so that you feel like your people are going to succeed? Like it just reminds me of like world-class struggle. Like I'm going through this, we're going to gain strength, then we'll get power, then we'll get victory, and then that's the way that we'll do good. But first we have to get to a position of power, you know, like where the connotation of like power and victory can be like negative, but it depends on where you're starting out from, which I think is interesting.
All right, last one. Shane, you haven't talked yet.
I was looking at it, and it's almost exactly what Megan says. How do you get to peace? I look at that as you have to run the gamut of emotions. You know, like how do you know, everything there, like passion, you have to have the passion, you have to have emotion and know what each side is at to gain any peace and serenity. Like you can't just say, yep,